Good morning everyone. Myself Ms. Surbhi Sharma from Shivjyoti Educational Group. I hope you all are staying fit and healthy. So today we are going to start with Geography Chapter 4, that is air. What is air? Air is a mixture of gases. Okay. Now let's start with the chapter. Atmosphere. An atmosphere is a layer of air surrounding our planet Earth. All living beings on this earth depend on the atmosphere for their survival. Why they depend on the atmosphere? Because atmosphere consists of air and air consists of various gases. It is this mass of air that has made the temperature on the earth livable. Like various layers of the atmosphere is there, like troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere. We are going to read about these layers in the further slides. For next, composition of the atmosphere. Now what does atmosphere consist of? In the atmosphere, nitrogen and oxygen are found in bulk quantities. You can see in the diagram, nitrogen and oxygen are in the bulk quantities in comparison with the other gases. Carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon and hydrogen are found in lesser quantities. Again, other gases are in lesser quantities in comparison to the nitrogen and oxygen. Apart from these gases, tiny dust particles are also present in the air. Nitrogen is the most plentiful gas in the air. You can see nitrogen is the most plentiful gas, that is 78%. When we inhale, we take some amount of nitrogen into our lungs and exhale it. And we take oxygen also and we are exhaling with nitrogen what? Carbon dioxide. Next, nitrogen is essential for plants to survive. Now why nitrogen, like how plants are consuming nitrogen? Nitrogen can't be consumed by plants directly. So what they are doing, the roots and bacteria which is present in the soil consume the nitrogen, transform it and pass it to the plant, and in this way plants are consuming the nitrogen. They cannot take nitrogen directly from the air. Bacteria that live in the soil and roots of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change its form so that plants can use it. Oxygen. Oxygen is the second most plentiful gas in the air. Humans and animals take oxygen from the air as they breathe. During photosynthesis, green plants produce oxygen. In this way, oxygen content in the air remains constant, and green plants need carbon dioxide to prepare their food. They are giving out oxygen and they are taking carbon dioxide, and we human beings, we are exhaling carbon dioxide and taking oxygen. So this balance between the carbon dioxide and oxygen should be very perfect. Carbon dioxide is another important gas. Green plants use carbon dioxide to make their food and release oxygen. Humans or animals release carbon dioxide. The amount of carbon dioxide released by humans or animals seems to be equal to the amount used by the plants, which make a perfect balance, and this balance is very necessary for the healthy environment. Which balance? Balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, and if deforestation will be there, okay, so this balance will get disturbed. So this is why it is said that more and more trees should be planted. Now next, structure of the atmosphere. We have read about atmosphere. Okay, now atmosphere consists of various layers. I have told you in the previous slides. Now what are these layers? Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere, exosphere. Okay, now between both the layers, between each layer, see, a tropopause is there, then after stratosphere, stratopause is there, after mesosphere, mesopause is there. So between the two layers a pause is there. Now what is this tropopause? You all must be wondering what is tropopause, stratopause. See, what is this is, like when the troposphere will end and stratosphere will start, there is a pause where the troposphere, the mixture of troposphere and stratosphere is there. Same goes for stratopause. Here a mixture of stratosphere and mesosphere will be there. Same mesopause. Okay. Now let's read about these layers in the further slides. The atmosphere is divided into 5 layers. First is troposphere. This layer is the most important layer of the atmosphere. Its average height is 13 kilometers and the air we breathe exists air. So, all the weather phenomena are there in the troposphere, exist in the troposphere. In this layer, all weather phenomena like rainfall, fog and hailstorm occur. Okay. Next, stratosphere. Above the troposphere lies the stratosphere. It extends up to a height of 50 kilometers. This layer is free from clouds and associated weather phenomena. So, the weather phenomena was existing in the troposphere and the stratosphere is free from weather phenomena, and it makes very ideal for flying aeroplanes, which makes it more ideal for flying aeroplanes. It contains a layer of ozone gas. Okay. So, in this layer ozone gas is there, which protects us from the ultraviolet rays, harmful rays of the sun. Next, mesosphere. This is the third layer of the atmosphere. It lies above the stratosphere. It extends up to a height of 80 kilometers and meteorites burn up in this layer on entering from the space. Meteorites, a large fragment of rocks or iron, okay, which enters from the space, but it ends up in this layer only, in mesosphere only. Next, thermosphere. In thermosphere, temperature rises very rapidly with increasing height. Ionosphere is a part of this layer. Ionosphere is a part of thermosphere, and ionosphere consists of high amount of ions and free electrons, which helps in transmitting back the radio waves. It extends between 80 to 400 kilometers. This layer helps in radio transmission. How this layer helps in radio transmission? Because of the ionosphere. In fact, radio waves transmitted from the earth are reflected back to the earth by this layer. Last one, that is exosphere. The uppermost layer of the atmosphere is known as exosphere. This layer has very thin air. Light gases like helium and hydrogen float into the space from here. So, it is the most toppest layer of the atmosphere, and very light gases like hydrogen and helium float into the space from here. Further moving to weather and climate. Now, what do you understand by weather and climate? A slight difference is there between weather and climate. Okay. Weather, the hour to hour or day to day condition of the atmosphere is called weather. Okay. Like the weather can be like in daytime the temperature is high, in night the temperature goes down. Okay. So, these kind of changes, hour to hour or day to day changes in the weather phenomena, in the climatic conditions, that is weather. Now, but what is climate? The average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time represents the climate of that place. If the same weather is there for a very longer duration of time, it is termed as climate. Okay. Like I can give you example of Mumbai. The climatic conditions of Mumbai is hot and humid. Why? Because most of the time the weather conditions there is very hot and humid. Okay. So, the climatic conditions there is consist of hot and humid climate. Next, temperature. Now, what is temperature? We have read about weather, we have read about climate. Now, what is temperature? The degree of hotness or coldness of the air is known as temperature. The temperature changes between day and night. I have told you in daytime temperature is generally higher than the night. And season to season. Summers are hotter than winters. In summers temperature is high, and in winters temperature is generally low. An important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. Now, what affects the temperature is insolation. Okay. Important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. Now, what is insolation? Let us read it in the next slide. Insolation. An important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. See, you can see this diagram. See, there is a difference from equator towards the pole. The sun rays is directly falling on the equator, but as it is moving towards the poles, see the sun rays is getting lighter. So, the temperature on the equator and on the poles will be different. Okay. Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles. You can see amount of insolation means amount of solar energy intercepted by the earth, and you can see amount of insolation is decreasing from equator towards the poles. Therefore, the temperature decreases in the same manner. See, if we compare the temperature of equator and temperature of poles, there will be a vast difference between the temperature. And why there is a difference between the temperature of equator and poles? Because of the insolation. Further moving, that is air pressure. Now, what is air pressure? See, you must not feel it, but right now also the pressure of air is there upon us. Okay. Air pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the earth's surface. Okay. I have told you may not feel it, but the weight of air is there upon us. As we go up towards the layers of the atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. Okay. See, on the earth's surface the pressure of air is generally higher, but as we move upwards towards the different layers of the atmosphere, the pressure gets low. The air pressure is highest at sea level and decreases with height. Why? Because the density is higher at the sea level, and as we move upwards the density gets low. So, the air pressure gets low. So, this is why the air pressure is highest at sea level and decreases with height. Further, in areas where temperature is high, the air gets heated and rises. This creates a low pressure area. See, when the temperature is high, the air gets heated and rises. So, the surface of the earth will become a low pressure area as the air is heated up and rising up. Okay. So, this will create a low pressure area. Low pressure area is associated with cloudy skies and wet weather. In areas having lower temperature, the air is cold and heavy. So, I have told you low pressure area. See, low pressure area is associated with cloudy skies and wet weather. So, this will be, the earth's surface will be low pressure area. Heavy air sinks and creates a high pressure area. High pressure is associated with clear and sunny sky. Now, heavy air, why heavy air? See, when it is associated with sunny sky, clear and sunny skies. See, when the sky is very clear and the sun is there, then this, which I have told you in the earlier point, that when the air will rise up, heated up and rise up, this will create low pressure area here. And when the sun is very clear and the sunny sky is there, this area will become a high pressure area. Now, see, the air always moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. Now, let me tell you, see, when the low pressure area is there, that is what we have studied in this point, when the low pressure area is there, generally what happened is the air particles from high pressure area will move to the low pressure area. This is a cycle, like this is how wind moves. Okay. So, the air always moves from high pressure area to low pressure area. Okay. This we are going to read in the next slide. Wind. The movement of air from high pressure area to low pressure area is called wind. I have told you. See, when the air get heated up and rises up, this area will become a low pressure area, and when this area will become low pressure area, the air particles from high pressure area will come at this low pressure area. So, this moving of this air particles from high pressure area to low pressure area is known as wind. Okay. Winds can be broadly divided into three types, that is permanent winds, seasonal winds and local winds. Now, what are these three winds? Let us read it. Permanent winds. The trade winds, westerlies or easterlies are the permanent winds. These blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. Let me tell you, see, permanent winds in the earlier time, people used these winds to transport the material. Okay. Next, seasonal winds are there. These winds change their direction in different seasons. For example, monsoons in India right now. Okay, so this which change according to the season. Local winds, these blow only during a particular period of the day or year in a small area, like in summers Loo is there. Next, moisture. Now what is moisture? You all are feeling like you all can feel humidity is there. Okay, why humidity is there? Humidity is there because of the water vapor in the air, and that is only moisture. Let us read it. When water evaporates from the land and different water bodies, it becomes water vapor. Moisture in the air is known as humidity. Okay, moisture in the air is known as humidity. When the air is full of water vapor, we call it a humid day. Like presently the days are humid. Why? Because the rainfall is there. Then the next day when the sun is there, the water gets evaporated and the air will get moisture in it, and this is termed as humidity. As the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold the water vapor increases, and so it becomes more and more humid, like the weather conditions of nowadays, because rain is there, sun is there. So, the weather conditions are getting very humid. When the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. The water vapor condenses, causing formation of droplets of water. Clouds are masses of such water droplets. You all have read about the water cycle. Okay. When these droplets of water becomes too heavy to float in the air, then they come down as precipitation. Okay. Next, precipitation that comes down to the earth in liquid form is called rain. On the basis of mechanism, there are three types of rainfall: the convectional rainfall, the orographic rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. Now, these three types of rainfall, you just have to remember the names, because these rainfalls are not there in your, not been explained in your book, not a part of your course. You will read about these rainfalls in the further classes. And you all know what is precipitation. That is the amount of water that is coming down to the earth in a form of rain. So, this is it. Please see the video once again, and you can clear your doubts regarding this video in your doubt session. I hope you all understood the chapter well. Thank you.